Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today we've got a little bit of an interesting discussion video, I think. This is a video that I've been threatening to make for some time. We're going to try and keep it a little bit quick, but we're going to have some fun with this. Today we're talking about adventure knives, what I consider to be adventure knives. Now a lot of you know I absolutely love being outdoors. I love backpacking and rock climbing and hiking and camping, all that kind of stuff. If I could, that's what I would do 24/7. I would never come inside ever again. And of course, in the process of participating in these activities, I rely a lot on my knives. And you'll have heard me say in shorts and other videos, the term adventure knife. I'll say, oh yeah, this is a great adventure knife. I'll unbox a knife and I'll say, ooh, this would probably be a good adventure knife. And in this video, I just want to kind of talk about what I mean when I say that, my thought process behind adventure knives, what qualifies as an adventure knife to me. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, obviously, this is a very personal categorization, right? This is just my usage of this term. And for me, adventure knife kind of covers three main genres of knife. I thought about maybe including four, but decided to knock one of those off. So those three different genres are hunting, survival, and then what I'm calling like general outdoor utility. This includes like hiking, camping, campsite use, etc., etc., etc. So let's go ahead and break down each of those different genres, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I look for in a knife for each of those different genres. All right, so let's start out with hunting because that's the one that I participate in the least these days. I wish I could do more hunting. I have not had a hunt of my own in several years. I miss it. I really, really miss it. My last hunt was a bow hunt for cow elk. But I have done, like back in October, I guided a buddy of mine on his first antelope hunt. So that was a lot of fun. But when it comes to hunting knives, I'm very choosy about my hunting knife. And my hunting knife, the knife that I'm going to be using to dress out game, does not get used for anything else. That is a big, big thing with me and hunting knives. So typically I look for something that has a lot of belly, an upswept tip that, you know, I'm not going to be worried about accidentally poking through a hide or something with. So something like a buck fixed blade, right? That's a fantastic hunting knife. And I prefer fixed blades. I think they're a lot easier to use. Changeable blade knives are very, very good as well. But I'm not a huge fan of folding hunting knives. And I'll talk a little bit why with this Benchmade, I'm not sure what, North Fork or whatever this is called. It's got like a little gut hook on the back, strap cutter slash thing. This is in their Hunt series. I don't like using a pocket knife as a hunting knife for a couple of reasons. Number one, could this blade do it? Could I dress out an elk with this? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. And it's got a lot of nice little things. It's got like the jimping up here so I can get up to that tip. I can use this belly coming through, separating hide from muscle really, really nicely. But a folding knife is a knife you carry because it's convenient. This is a knife that I might have with me throughout the whole day. And I might be using this to cut rope and food and anything else I need to cut. And so when I do finally bring down an animal and I want to take care of it, my pocket knife might be dull. It might be too dull for the job. And you don't want that. Another thing is with folding knives in particular. Oh man, that clip is loose. I don't want to get offal and blood and guts in my pivot. I don't want to have to clean that out. That's just disgusting and adds extra steps. So skip the middleman and just go with a fixed blade. But, you know, there are options like that out there for sure. Okay, that's hunting out of the way. Next, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about survival. And for this, obviously, the poster child knife on this channel is the Cold Steel SRK. And this is a knife that I take with me basically everywhere. This goes with me on all my different adventures because it's just a really damn good knife and I trust it, right? I always want to make sure I have a survival knife with me when I go out hiking or exploring anywhere, because if things go sideways, this is the best tool you can have. A good, solid fixed blade is the best tool you can have. I got into a conversation a few years ago in a comment section on a video I made and someone was telling me that I made a video about me hiking somewhere or something. I was showing like my pocket check, and someone was like, "Oh, where's your gun? Right? Where's your blah 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 blah?" And normally I do carry a pistol with me, but on this particular instance I didn't have one. And I told the guy, I said, "Well, I don't really think I need one in this scenario. And besides, if I'm in a survival situation, I'd take a knife over a gun any day." And this guy said, "No, no, no. If I could choose, I'd take a gun, and that would get me through anything. There's nothing I can't conquer. You know, me and a gun." And I think that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard anyone say. Right? I do not think a gun is a great survival tool. Right? A gun is a thriving tool. If you're trying to survive or something, this is going to absolutely be your best friend. I like this knife here. This has a lot of the qualities that I prefer in a survival knife. We're thick and we're robust, but we're still got a very, very capable blade that can cut and slice. I can baton with this. The handle, it is full tang. It's over molded, so the comfort is very, very. The comfort. I was going to say the comfort is very capable. The comfort is there. It's very comfortable. Sharp spine, so I can throw sparks off a fire rod or something. This is a fantastic knife. And again, if I'm ever out hiking, I get caught in a rainstorm, I get caught in a snowstorm, I wander off trail somehow, landslide, something, whatever. If I end up the creek without a paddle, I want to have a knife like this. So I make sure I always have a survival knife. And typically, this is another category where fixed blades are the only option. There are some folding knives that I think could get you out of a bind. A lot of them are made by Cold Steel, but I just prefer a fixed blade by and large. I think it's the no-brainer choice. So that's my survival knife, and those are some of the things I look for when I'm looking for a survival knife. I do not like, to get back to the handle, I do not like survival knives that necessarily have like bolted on handles. Some of them are fine, right? Some of them are fine, but I like over-molded handles because they're comfortable. Hiding the tang is also useful in a lot of cases, especially if it's cold or something and you're barehanded. You don't want to be like feeling cold metal. It sounds like a small thing here, but you know, when you're fighting for your life, every little convenience goes a long way. And also with the bolted on scales, sometimes they can crack or snap and come off. And in that case, it's not necessarily the biggest deal. You know, you can still use the knife. But yeah, that's just kind of my go-to. All right, and now our last category, and the category that is the largest and encompasses the most tasks, our general outdoor utility category. There are a lot of different knives that go into this category, and this is kind of, in a way, my favorite category, right? The hunting category, I don't do as much hunting as I like anymore, right? Survival knife category, I got that covered. But the utility category, that's where I can kind of play around a little bit. So I want to show a few knives that I think make excellent adventure folders first. Let's see if I've got all of them here. I think I do. Yeah. So, a lot of times, you might think that an outdoor, utility knife has to be big and overbuilt, and I do appreciate that sometimes. This Manx XL, on loan from Old Tonto Guy, this is a great example of something that I would consider to be a great folding adventure knife. Number one, it has a very slicey blade. It's a fully flat ground blade, but it's durable. It's not a thin blade at all. We have a very strong lock, and we have fantastic ergos. Those three things right there are absolutely essential for a knife to become an adventure knife for me as a folder. That strong lock, a durable yet slicey blade, and good ergos, that goes a long, long way. But it does not necessarily have to be a big knife. The CGRB Pyite Lite is a knife that I would consider to be an excellent adventure knife. This is an excellent folding knife. Pair this with a big fixed blade, and there's not much that you can't do. This is lightweight. This is very comfortable in hand. This has a great slicey blade. This is an amazing hiking knife. Put it in your pocket, it disappears. You don't even know it's there. I can put my fixed blade in my backpack. Normally I have it on my belt, but if I really want to be like conscientious about not just the way I'm carrying, but the way I'm carrying it, I want to be comfortable. This is a great knife. It's very slim, very lightweight, but you get a full-size knife with great ergos. This is an absolutely excellent option for an adventure knife. And sometimes this is my go-to combo. Slicey knife, slicey folder with a big robust fixed blade. That is a combo that I'm a huge fan of. Running through some more just of my favorite adventure folding knives. The CIVI Vision FG. This is a great knife right here. We have that strong lock. We have a very capable blade. This blade is nice and slicey, but it's also pretty durable. We have great ergos. This is kind of the in-between this knife and this knife, right? It's got it's more similar in size and profile to the Pyite Lite, but it's got that lock strength of the Manx. So this is a very cool knife. I like this one a whole lot. And this knife is very versatile in all kinds of different roles that I might have to put it in. If I'm out on the trail and I need to cut something, we've got a great blade here. If I'm back at camp and I want to cut some food, this also has a great blade. This kind of down-dropped edge. Yeah, this is a great camp food prep knife. Easy to use. That's another thing. If you can use it one-handed, that's a huge bonus. What happens if I get a hand stuck? That's happened to me a couple times. I was climbing in the slot canyon once, and not a real extreme slot canyon, but this tree that was kind of leaned in there from a flood shifted, and it trapped my arm. And luckily, I was able to get out of there. But I was having flashbacks to what is that, 127 hours or whatever it is, movie where the guy cuts his arm off. Yeah, I was thinking about that a lot. By the way, I found a bunch of my favorite edible plant out here, purslane. My mom used to put this in salads growing up. Us kids would go out in the mountains and we'd harvest a bunch of this. I would bring it home to Mom, and she'd throw it in salads with stuff from the garden. Excellent stuff. Okay, here is a kind of the knife that inspired me to make this video. This is a knife I've been carrying on a lot of adventures recently. That is the DICO 8020.5. What I love about this knife is, yeah, we've got a really beefy blade, but look how thin the profile is overall. This knife is very easy to carry. This is very lightweight. Very strong lock. Absolutely solid lock. And this blade is super capable. I'm not going to break that. I mean, just for comparison, compare that against the Vision FG. You can see it's quite a bit thicker, but it does slice decently well. It's not a super slicer, but it cuts. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. There are a lot of cold steel knives that you guys might be surprised I'm not showing right now, like some of my all-time favorites, the 8010, the 8015, the 4MAX Scout. Those are great knives, but I consider those more work knives than adventure knives just because they're heavy, they're a little bit bulky. I want to fit something into somewhat of a compact package. This knife, this is on loan right now from old Tonto guy. I want to bring this out. This is a CIVI Bull Tusk. Some people think that big automatically equals ready for the outdoors, right? This is a knife that I would not consider for an adventure knife outside of using it at camp. This would be a great folding knife for food prep at camp. You have the huge, broad blade, flat grind. Yeah, great food prep knife for sure. But I'm not sure this is a knife that I would necessarily want to be taking with me everywhere on all my adventures. It's a liner lock, that has some weaknesses with it. So this knife is one that is almost an adventure knife. Not quite, but almost an adventure knife. Okay, and the last thing I think we need to talk about is machetes. What category do machetes go in? Well, for me, honestly, machetes belong to the utilities faction, right? This machete, I have set up camp with this so many times. Splitting wood, cutting wood down, clearing brush. A machete is a fantastic tool. It can be put into the survival knife category, but I typically don't think of it that way just because it's kind of hard to carry a machete sometimes, right? And the best survival knife is a knife you have with you. Make it something that's easy to carry so you'll have it with you all the time. Not really a hunting knife. I have killed a bunch of snakes with this, but I'm not necessarily hunting snakes. So I would not consider a machete to be in the hunting knife category. I do want to mention the fourth category that I thought about but ended up canning, and that is the tactical knife category. At first I was going to include tactical knife in adventure knife category, but I realized that maybe that's a category that's useful to some people. Maybe some of you watching would consider a tactical knife to be an adventure knife for you, but it's not really for me. Like, I'm not really looking for tacticalness, like knife fighting. I don't think that plays a big role in my adventures. Maybe I have to knife fight a bear sometime, but I think I could do that with a survival knife. But yeah, so there we go. Those are some of the knives that I think are great adventure knives. And now that you guys have seen this video, you'll kind of have a better understanding of what I mean when I unbox a knife or something. I say, ooh, this is a great adventure knife. I want to give you guys a little bit of an insight into my head. I think it's useful as a reviewer for you guys to kind of know how I think. So when you watch my videos, you know what angle I'm approaching certain things from. And again, this is a term that I throw around all the time. But yeah, in short, if it's a folding knife, I want it to be durable yet slicey with a strong blade and comfortable ergos. Survival knife, tough, rugged, robust. I also want to mention like multi-tools and Swiss Army knives real quick. They're kind of in their own category. They're kind of in the utility knives category. They're great around the camp. They're great in a backpack, first aid kit, things like that. So even though I didn't like show them a whole lot of love on this video here, I do absolutely love them, and they are fantastic, fantastic pieces of gear to have with you on an adventure. And I think that's going to be just about it. So before we close up, big shout out to my channel members right here. I really appreciate everything they do for the channel. They are awesome. If you want to be a member, there's a button below you can join. As for the rest of you, if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.